1 2 1 2 testing. Come on. It says live stream. This is what we're looking for. Great, we're in. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, my name is Ingram Jones, and thank you for joining us for this special interview. I have with me Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on Bayloric TV. A fan favorite. I've got a lot of support across the Twitter universe, the Facebook universe, the virtual universe, and the real world. So, questions to ask. First of all, let's see who's in the room. We have Andy Wilkinson, evening, Ingram, and we have Wayne Lovett in the room. Evening, Wayne. Hope you're well. And a few others are popping up as we speak. Some of them will not be seen. Some of the people will pop up and talk in between. Okay, so we're getting straight into this interview. I'm going to ask you first of all, Chantelle, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm 24. I'm from Northampton, and I box in the Team GB.
Yep.
And I box at lightweight. Okay.
So tell us a bit more about you in terms of like your career before you got into boxing. I know you were doing kickboxing, so let's talk about that first.
Yeah, so from the age of 10, I've done kickboxing.
Right.
Up until I was 16, then I've done a year in Thai boxing. And then after a year in Thai boxing, I went back to do kickboxing.
Right.
And at the age of 18, I started boxing. And ever since then, I've boxed.
So what was it that got you into boxing, would you say?
Because I was fighting for titles in kickboxing. Mm-hmm. And it started off, I just wanted to get my hands better for the kickboxing fights because I was a champion. And obviously, like, the fact of losing my title belts, I just couldn't do it. So I thought, I'm going to bring something new to the table. And thought, if I bring in better boxing skills, then the girls aren't going to be able to handle me. So I went to the boxing gym and just improved my hands, really. And in the kickboxing, like, they struggled with my boxing ability.
So what was it? I've never asked you, what was it that actually got you into the kickboxing first?
I used to always love fighting when I was younger. So when I was 10 years old, I used to watch Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, and
right.
I used to watching all the action scenes. I just think, I want to be like that, and used to try and reenact the scenes. So I just wanted to do kickboxing, and karate and taekwondo wasn't really for me. I wanted more impact.
I know those feelings when you try and reenact things. I'll let you into a little secret. When I was younger, I used to think I was Spider-Man, and I actually dressed up in my Spider-Man costume and put it under my school uniform. And during the classroom, I went and told everyone I was primary school, said, I'm Spider-Man. And I took the suit off, said, look, I've got the suit right here. Of course, I got in trouble in school. Yes, I actually tried climbing up.
Story.
Embarrassing, yeah. And I tried climbing up walls as well. Didn't bode too well. Didn't get very far.
Imagine you got some injuries then.
Well, no, look, I didn't get injuries of the heart, really, because, you know when you try to climb up the wall and you actually realize it's not possible you can actually physically climb up a wall like Spider-Man does. Yeah, and you look like a bit of a clown wearing a costume in the middle of a classroom, and it's not fancy dress.
Did you do the web thing with his hand?
No, I didn't do that because nothing was coming out. At that point, I couldn't do anything with that. No, so I didn't get that far. Nah. Embarrassing times. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. So the kickboxing, and then the boxing.
Yeah.
What do you think it was? I know you said that you liked all the sort of physical contact, sort of fighting stuff. What do you think it was that made you go that way? You know, some girls like, some girls like the old girly things and those sort of things.
I think I'm a bit of a tomboy. Well, I am a tomboy.
Yeah.
So I'm not the girly thing just bore me. So I've always wanted to I love quad bikes, motorbikes, and things like that. Anything that gets your adrenaline going. So I think that's what it was really. It just gives me a pump.
Are you one of them crazy ones that does the bungee jumping and stuff like that, right?
I would love to do them, but I haven't done it. I'd like to jump out of a plane one day.
Wow,
One
wow,
day I'm going to jump out of a plane. Just
wow.
not yet.
One day you're going to
Not
jump
yet.
out of a plane.
Yeah.
You make that something for charity, I think. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's go into like the kickboxing that you've done. I know that videos of you were a champion quite a few times over. So talk to me about that.
When I think when I was under 16, I had a title belt for the British under 16, and I held that for ages, kept fighting and fighting for it. But that was light contact, and then I stepped up into the adults, and I started winning titles in that as well. So I was fighting all the time on like big club shows, like being a nightclub and stuff, and it used to be like the best atmosphere because you have like your entrance music, and you was like 16, 17, and you was in a club. Even though you wasn't like clubbing, just the fact you was fighting in a club was like cool. And you just had to keep defending your titles, and it was just like it's like a family as well. Like I do miss the kickboxing because I had a good support there, and it was like a family. But I had to move on.
So the transition from the kickboxing to boxing, what was the first thing you noticed was the difference? Obviously, the kicks you no longer had to avoid. But what was the transitional difference and the things you struggled with from kickboxing to boxing?
My first ever boxing coach, like I remember when I first went to his gym, like he knew I was a kickboxer, and obviously he didn't want me to carry on kickboxing, he wanted me to box, but I wasn't even that keen on actually boxing in the ring until the Olympics were announced. And he used to just literally drill me, like drill me, and I was thinking, oh, why am I being drilled? I'm a kickboxer. And it wasn't until like I actually decided that I was going to stop kickboxing and become a boxer that I was starting to take notice of what he was saying. And then it took literally years and years to get me out of my bad habits. And it used to give me a headache after each session. I'd be like, oh, I can't do this. I'm never going to be a good boxer. Because it was just like little things like my footwork, my hands, and the way I used to block and stuff. So little things, but it just get drilled and drilled and drilled all the time. And I just thought, how can I cope with this?
Well,
But I done it in the end.
I always remember like transferring from like I did a BCKL, which was open contact. You did different styles combined into one. So you fought different arts, and we
What's
had
that? Like MMA?
BCKL was a British British Contact Karate organization. But what it was a combination of the different styles put together, made into one art, and then you would fight in different tournaments. In fact, I remember telling you that I fought in a tournament up in Northampton, in the Northampton Sports Centre. And you had two types. You had semi-contact, full contact. Obviously, semi-contact, if you actually did a back fist and hit somebody's face and you drew blood, then that, you get disqualified for that. Yeah. But full contact, you could do everything: back fist, hammer fist, spinning kicks, the lot. Yeah. But I just found that the kicks, I just got annoyed because, again, myself, with the kicks, like I found my hands were better than my feet.
Yeah, so that's what my problem was.
So I just transferred over straight into boxing. And the first thing they did was more chest on. And then sort of boxing try to make you more side on.
Side on, yeah. And more head movement.
And more head movement, yeah. Because and the rounds are different. And you've got, I found that the boxing was far more interactive. There was less referees coming and stopping the action, whereas this was continual action all the time. And I also found about the mats as well, because when I used to fight on these mats. If you
I used to fight on mats.
Did you fight on mats as well?
Yeah, I started off on mats and then I went to the ring.
So what
I didn't like the mats.
I didn't like mats either.
Like the mats.
What did you find in terms of the competition when you first had your first bout?
My first boxing bout.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first bout. It was like I never had no idea about boxing, to be fair. Like I was just being thrown in there.
Yeah.
And I think it was I remember it was in the Isle of Wight, so we had to get a minibus there. And I was thinking, oh, this is cool. Like if my bout's always going to be like different places, so we stayed over the night. And the girl was like highly ranked, but my coach didn't tell me that she was an experienced girl, but he just wanted to test me. And it was her home show, so I knew I was like going to be up against it. And I can remember that she was like, everyone was talking about her, like giving her the hype and stuff. And then I didn't realize my friend was boxing on the same show, so it was like just a whole good event. And I can remember I think I stopped her in the first round, and I was just like, wow, like it was a proper buzz. And then I could only box three domestic bouts, and all of them were just like, it was good memories.
So did you steamroll all three opponents then?
Except from one, but the first two are steamrolled, but the last one was unanimous decision.
Okay, so what was it like to then, so the first time, you know, instead of steamrolling somebody actually stand up to your power and sort of like, you know.
It was good because I like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good, like getting stuck in there and getting the rounds.
So what about your first loss as a boxer? How was that?
Oh,
How did you
that
take
was
that?
awful. I was in my world champ. No, it was in my first international bout for boxing for England, and the world champion beat me. And because I hadn't experienced losing for like years and years, it destroyed me. Like cried my eyes out.
You cried your eyes out.
Yeah, I was devastated.
And
I'm a sore loser.
that's not a bad thing. And so then what did you do in the process of, obviously you broke down, you cried. What were you saying to yourself in the process of getting yourself back on your feet and get going again?
That I'm gonna do better. And the fact that she was a world champion, I held my own against her. So
Do you
I
remember
just
her
kept,
name?
yeah, it was a Gusen Tata.
Gusen Tata.
Yeah, she was a world champion back then at 64 kilo.
Okay.
She's a Turkish girl.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it that she did? What do you in hindsight looking back? What do you think it was that she did well?
She was really clever because of her experience. She was just picking me off. Like I was coming forward and I didn't have a boxing brain then, so I was just going at her, and she was just picking me off like left, right, and centre.
Okay. So that happens. You have your first loss. You come back. What's the game plan going forward then?
Train harder, put extra work in, and just get over the loss and look on to the future.
So we've got people in the room. Okay, we've got some people in the room here. Good evening to Cameron Gilliam. Good evening, Gazzo. Good evening, Ben Blackwell. So let's keep going. So you advanced real quickly to fighting for your country. I mean,
yeah, I did. I did get through it quick. My feet didn't feel like touch the floor.
Yeah, talk to me about that process from fighting. You know,
it was like I used to say to my coach back then. I was like, oh, like I feel like I'm being rushed. I'm being in the deep end. Like, it was good for me because I got the experience. But like I only had 3 domestic fights. Then I was in the ABA championships, and then I was just boxing for England. And it was like I was leaving my coach, and I'd only been boxing a year, so it was all just too new to me. And like my feet were just weren't settled. And to be honest with you, it took me ages to get used to the boxing scoring system internationally back then, because it was a point system. So it was a bit like tag sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Like you have to knock the red back to get a point. But I was just a come forward fighter, so I was like I couldn't work it out, and it took me years to get used to it. But now they've changed it to like more my style.
So the tag. So what's the difference now for you?
Like it's a 10-9 system.
Right.
So basically, you just work. The more dominant fighter will get the win. Well, most of the time.
So if you bulldoze your way forward, you might win.
Yeah.
So all right.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. That's all right. So your jump from just fighting domestic fights to represent England, was that because of a lack of talent, or was that because you were that talented, or a lack of girls, or what? I mean, I've got to ask the questions.
I don't really know. I think it's just because like I was just new on the scene, and I was beating world class people. Like in my ABAs, I beat the normal England representative. But because I beat her and I made it a convincing win, I think they just looked at me as like young, fresh, and just gave me a chance.
You've done the business, so that's good. So you're fighting and beating world class opposition. What do you think was the key then to you being able to make the jump?
I honestly believe like it was just my heart. Just my heart was in the right place. Like I just wanted it more. Like I was more hungry.
Okay, so let's talk about your coaches that have been the key to your success so far in your boxing transition from boxing to boxing to boxing.
Yeah.
So who have been your coaches? Yes.
Oh, so my first coach, I would always remember this moment because it was a big moment. I remember in my ABA final, I was losing the first round, and obviously it was like a place I'd never been before because in my kickboxing days, I always won. I won every single round, and I remember in my ABAs, my first 2 fights, I stormed through them, and my final I was losing the first round, and I went back to the corner, and my coach was like, I was points down, and my heart was just racing. I was thinking, I can't lose, because my parents were there as well, and they've never seen me lose. And my coach said to me at the moment, when I was in the corner, he goes, "Oh, show me what champions are made of." And I don't know what happened, but it was just like a switch. And I went out there and I think I won in the end by like 10 points. So that was a massive moment for me. Like that just, and through a few fights now, like I've remembered that in my head. So if I've been down, I've like remembered that moment and I've just pulled it out of the bag. So that was a big thing. And my coach Lee Edwards, like he's like a father figure to me as well. He's like a real good man. Like he helped me with everything really. Like not just in boxing terms as well. Like he's a great trainer in that, but mentally he's like made me develop so much the last years.
Yeah, a lot of is made of, you know, the top trainers and the people that we hear of and mention a lot in the media, but it tends to be the grassroots trainers, the people that do a lot of hard work and really do the dirty work, you know, before you get handed over to the elites. You know, they don't get the credit. So I'm glad you're talking about talk to me a little bit more about the relationship between yourself and your trainer.
Because Lee sent me to a new club now in Kettering, which I've been at for like 3 months. And to be honest with you, like me and Lee said, like we wish I went there 4 years ago, because we reckon I'd be like probably a world champion by now. Wow. Because this school is called the Kettering School of Boxing. He's just he's a really thorough trainer. Like he nitpicks everything. So I started going to him this year, and I went there and he just literally just broke me apart. Was like, that's wrong, this is wrong. And since I've been with him, like, I'm so much more relaxed now when I box, and like I throw more relaxed combinations and stuff. And so he's been a massive impact on my career this year.
Right, so tell us a bit more about this new coach. What's his background?
He's got a really successful club in Kettering, so it's like 15 miles from where I am now, and he's had like loads of champions. He's just like one of them trainers that just loves boxing. He just loves boxing, and he just wants everyone in his gym to do well. And he keeps it like a little family like little thing in the gym. Like everyone's just really close, and you know he's there for you and got your back.
Wow, that's a great feeling. Yeah. Great feeling to know you got somebody who's going to cover your back.
And it's good as well, because it doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, what you achieved. He'll still tell you if you're doing rubbish, which I think you need that.
Right, that's really good to hear. It's really good to hear. In terms of your sparring, who are you using to prepare with, or do you get to who are the people you use to spar with to kind of sharpen yourself up for qualifiers?
So at home, I spar with the boys at Kettering School of Boxing. So whoever Clive puts me in there with, and I spar at GB as well. So like this week I've been sparring the Bulgarians.
Right.
So like it's just like we have camps and stuff, and then we get people sent in.
So tell me the difference. So obviously you working with your club, that's one thing. But then when you go as a representing GB, what's it like? Give me an idea of a day in the life of Chantelle Cameron. So let's say, I wake up, I'm the fly on the wall, and I'm on the fly on the wall, and Chantelle is, let's say, 7:30 in the morning. What is Chantelle Cameron going to be doing from 7:30 onwards?
7:15 we go to the weigh-in in the coach's room to check our weight.
Right.
And 7:45 we'll go to the running track, and we'll do a set run that the coach has set us. Right. So today was a fat leg run outside. So it was like hills, sprints, just literally stairs. And then 11 o'clock we do strength and conditioning. And then any time in the evening between 3 and 5 we do sparring, bags and pads.
And so I sort of remembered it under Ronnie Rush. I remembered, but we started our run at 5 in the morning up in the mountains in Cardiff and Wales. 5 in the morning, start the run, and he'd have his car behind me, and I'd be running, and he'd make the bumper touch my heel every time. Yeah, not nice. And then he'd make me run up. These different mountains, run up. Of course, I'm a Londoner. What do I know about mountains?
That sounds tough. That does.
And you're going
style as well.
Exactly, going up, and you're going up, and you're going up, and you're going up, and of course you don't know you don't know because you're running at the time. You're not aware of, because you're always running flat. So you went up and up and up and up and up. It's okay. Now come back down. Now quickly. And your legs are absolutely gone. There's nothing in your legs. The oxygen's like, it's terrible. And you've got to come all the way back down. Your legs are absolutely gone. And he's laughing at you. And you have to try and do the jog home. So you do the jog back. And then like strength and conditioning around, say like 12 to 2, strength and conditioning.
Oh, that's then 2 hours.
Yeah. And then you go back and rest. and then you're back in the gym again at like 7 till 9 p.m. That's your sparring. And he was brutal. He would bring you in like he knew you were knackered, and then he'd bring the nice fresh guys on. It was just, and on those times, all he was just about absorbing the punishment. It was like just because your legs are gone. Your legs are absolutely gone because of earlier on during the day.
Yeah.
So you kind of get sort of smart to it. You start saying, all right, fine. I know I'm going to get to bed earlier. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ensure that I do these things, because if I don't do these things, I can't get to training. You know, I can't be out with my mates. You've got to be focused.
Yeah, he's tunnel vision.
I tell you, it's hard. It's very, very hard. I remember with Barry Jones, because Barry Jones was in the same gym as myself, and Barry would often laugh at my expense when, you know, the trainer's throwing the ball at your stomach all the time. And he's there going, take it, yeah, take it, go on, take it. And he says, and it'd make me laugh. And the trainer would look, what are you laughing at? I'll be like, again, bang, bang, bang. So the pain's terrible, but yeah, I feel sorry for you. But I do feel sorry for you. But if you're chasing a dream, this is part of it, isn't it?
Exactly. It's going to be gold at the end of the rainbow.
So after you've done the sparring,
yeah.
Okay. Is it generally technical sparring, or do you have different days?
It was open to. We have a couple of technical spars, and then it goes to open.
Yep.
And then you do pads at the end.
Okay. So what would you say is your favourite out of all of those things?
Open sparring.
Open sparring.
Yeah.
Well, you like the aggressive, go forward and trying to take someone's head off.
Yeah.
So how do you think Chantelle Cameron has changed from the person that, you know, started off her boxing career to the point where you're at now?
I'm more of a boxer now, whereas it used to be more of a fighter, where I just come forward, whereas now I can actually box. And I think I just matured as well. Like, yeah.
Okay, let's see if people have got anything in the room to say so far. Got one person at the moment, is Wayne. Wayne says, after the qualifiers, Wayne asks, do you spar or would you spar members of the public?
Ask Ingram.
Yeah, I'll ask you. We'll come back to that one. Right. So let's talk about the recent campaign you had.
Oh yeah, the Powerade campaign.
Let's talk about what it was for and how it started out.
So basically, I was contacted by Sponsor Size Me, and it's a link with Powerade, and they're basically helping athletes try aim for VO. So like members of the public will support them, so like donate to the page, and obviously because you can't just give, you got to give something back. So you give rewards. So if people donate, say £25, they'll get a signed T-shirt. £60 a boxing lesson, £5 a thank you tweet. Just like it goes up and up, and basically just help you with your training to like buy equipment, pay for gym membership, nutrition, stuff like that. So it's really good, and like, obviously it gives you a bit of a boost as well, knowing that people out there are actually supporting you.
Absolutely. I mean, you smashed it when. I
didn't think I'd reach my target, and the next thing, like, I went over my target, and I was thinking, wow, like people are really backing me.
What do you think the key has been to people supporting you? Why do you think that you've had that support? I mean, there's some people that do campaigns and.
I don't know. I don't know. I appreciate it a lot. I feel lucky as well. I think it must like me.
What do other teammates think of, or people of GB think of? The support you get, the media attention you get. What do they say about it?
Never said anything actually.
No, nothing's mentioned of it, or you know, did they ever come and say, "I saw your interview the other day"? Ha 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 ha.
No, never that either.
Nobody does that. Wow, that's strange. Okay, all right. So let's talk about. I mean, you said that how important the campaign was. Now, there is an assumption, and I use the word assumption lightly, that you're a GB fighter, so then you're going to get fully funded. What does she need the money for?
Yeah.
Can you break that down? Because I'm sure there are other fighters out there.
Yeah, basically, like we get funded by the UK lottery.
Yes.
But like, what I do is a full-time job, so I can't work. Like, I don't have a job. This is all I do. So that money that I spend on is like for living costs as well. That doesn't take part of my training costs. It's completely different. Like, it's not like I'm working and earning money. Like, this is all I do. Like, I'm a full-time athlete. So like it's hard because if you want to reach the top level as well, like you running trainers, you go through them constantly because you can't wear them for like too many miles because they start hurting your feet.
Yep.
Boxing gloves, you want to make sure they're padded, and the amount you train, you're punching pads constantly, so you start losing padding, and if you lose padding, you'll end up hurting your knuckles. So it's just literally cost after cost.
So, okay, how much does it cost for a really good pair of trainers, and what sort of trainers would you buy?
Literally, you're looking at over £100.
I mean, I would think things like Asics.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah,
In
Asics.
the running shop.
Yeah. Because I went and did
You're looking at like £150 though. They're so expensive.
Have you done the thing where you run? They actually watch the way you run on the
Oh no,
chat
I've never
machine.
done it. I haven't
You've never done it.
No.
It's a real experience. But yeah, and by that they can actually tell what sort of trainers you need to be wearing.
Actually need,
Yeah. So okay, so you're looking at £100 for a pair of trainers. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how many of those do you think you go through in like a month? Would you say?
No, I'll go through about one pair within 2-3 months.
Okay.
But like because you're training as well, say you're running outside, they get wet. You got to let them dry, so you need like a spare pair. You need like 2 pairs really, because you need a spare pair as well.
Okay, then pads. What sort of gloves do you use?
I use Rivals.
Rivals, okay.
Yeah, Rivals. What's my other pair? Hold on, Ringside.
Oh, use Ringside.
Yeah, and they're like £100, £150.
Well,
for one pair.
Won't Ringside sponsor you?
No, I tried, but they didn't want to know. And so you have to have a pair of sparring gloves and then a pair of bag gloves. So that's £300 for two pairs of gloves.
No, wait. Say that again.
So you have to have bag gloves and then you have to have sparring gloves because they're different weights. So your bag gloves will be like 12 ounce.
Of course.
And your sparring gloves will be 16 ounce. So like
300 quid.
Yeah, for just 2 pairs of gloves.
Wow.
So
okay.
So and obviously because you're boxing at high level, you need good equipment. Like you can't go get some cheap equipment trying to save money because you're just going to mess up your hands, and our hands are like what we work with.
Okay, I've got some questions in the room. Gazzo, good evening. Glad you're in the room. He says, ask Chantelle about Sandy Ryan. How does she rate her?
Oh, she's really good. Yeah, she's a good girl. She won a silver in the World Championships at 64 kilo. But she's on GB as well at my weight, but I got selected for the qualifiers.
Okay. Wayne Lovett just wanted to let you know he got the t-shirt.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Right. Ben Blackwell says Mizuno are good for trainers. Winning and Adidas approved AIBA gloves are top notch for myself.
Oh, I wanted. I'm actually looking at the winning gloves now and the head guard.
Okay.
But they're like £300 or something.
Cameron says, yeah, winning are popular in the amateurs down here more than Adidas.
Yeah, I want some winnings.
So it says all the gyms. Cameron continues, all the lads in our gym want winnings. So winnings seem to be a. What about Reyes in terms of the puncher's gloves? Do you not use them?
They're really good, but Kiwi don't really like us using them because they're not very good for your knuckles. But I used to always wear them, but they're not very good for your knuckles, so I don't wear them now.
Was that when you were steamrolling everybody, or do you have to?
I just think it's because like lack of padding in them, so you can't really wear them to be sparring.
Right. So diet. Let's talk about diet because we talked about the cheeky Nando's. Yeah. I was trying to encourage you early on to go and have a cheeky Nando's, but maybe that wasn't the best advice I would have given you.
I think it's because you're telling me to have chips.
Yes, chips and corn.
Oh, stop! You're making me jealous.
Well, I can't eat chips and corn. I can't eat no meat, so that's out of the question for me and Nando's. But yeah, so what would be a typical diet for you? You know, as you know, you're coming into qualifiers.
I eat a lot of steak, a lot of chicken, a lot of fish.
Yep.
And I stack up on my vegetables and fruits.
Right.
And for morning, I just love yogurt and fruit.
Okay.
And if I've got no yogurt or fruit in, I'll just have porridge.
Any particular porridge?
Just normal porridge out the sachet.
Yeah, Quaker Oats, Ready Break.
Oats.
Quaker Oats. Which one you do the flavored ones or the normal ones?
Just normal, and add a bit of honey.
Yeah, a bit of honey.
Boring.
Okay. Okay, golden honey, that's the one.
Yeah.
So okay, so we got diet covered, we've got a training covered, we've got. What about mental preparation? What do you do to keep yourself on the edge, or to improve your mental strategy and approach?
Basically Edwards again, my coach.
Yes.
He's like I can talk to him about anything. So like if I feel like I need to like have a little bit of a rant, then he's the man I go to, and he'll like get into my head and be like, oh, come on, Chantelle, like he's just wicked. Like I cannot phase a man enough. He works with me so well. And also like I think it sounds a bit pathetic, but I just like get in my mum's bed and just have a talk to my mum, and she'll itch my back.
Hey, but you know what? When you got somebody you can talk to,
Yeah.
in this world, you need one or two people that you can talk to, you can confide in.
Yeah.
Because when you're out there on the big stage, you ain't no one to talk to. When the bell goes ding ding, round one,
I'm on my own then.
You're on your own. So
Yeah.
I guess it's the best time to talk to people before you do the business. So yeah.
Yeah.
This situation of you going to the qualifiers now, how does that selection process work for you to get to the qualifiers?
So basically it's on performances. So
Right.
I've been performing well and showing that like I've been working hard, I've been training hard, I've been sparring good, I've been winning medals at the tournaments. So that's basically how it's qualified, is on who they think will like has the good chance of qualifying.
Right. So let's talk about selection processes, maybe previous selection processes. I know that in some sports you get the whole favoritism thing, and some coaches like certain fighters or certain football players. Or does that happen the same within amateur boxing? Do you have that as well, or is that kind of they just want to win as many medals as possible? Is it straight down the line?
They just want to win as many medals as possible, because obviously it's what keeps everyone in the job is the medals.
So favoritism doesn't really come into it then?
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay, cool, fair enough. That's good to know. Let's see if anybody's got any questions to ask in the room. Right. Gazelle says, cheeky Nando's, protein and carbs. That's how I'd pass it off anyway. LOL, says Gazelle.
I agree with that. Just no chips.
No chips.
Or garlic bread, yeah.
Or garlic bread, right.
That's a thumbs up though.
Does Chantelle feel the issues with heads on boxing is becoming more random?
What's that mean?
Performance enhancing drugs.
So what about that?
Does it like be more prominent? More. There's more of it in the sport.
They're always doing tests now, yeah. They're always like making sure that everyone's clean.
So how do you feel about the whole thing of Russia and obviously being in the Olympics as well? Is that a concern for Team GB at all?
They're doing their thing, and like if they're going to cheat, then that's their problem. But as long as we're clean, then let them cheat.
Right. Okay. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, go. So let's talk about now. You got the qualifiers up. So what's the score for you now? I know you tweeted about the fact that you're going to be putting your body into places that you've never put it before, and putting yourself through things. Talk to me about that process.
So basically, like I've got to get to the finals in the Europeans, and you just like I've got 2 weeks now, so I just basically just like got to train as hard as I can, put everything in, and just have no regrets. Like whatever happens in these qualifiers, I know that I've trained my ass off really, and I know like I've done everything right. So what's meant to be will be. That's how I'm looking at it. Like I'm going to go out there to win, and I'm going to perform. So I'm just hoping that it pays off.
So you've had the process of going for qualifiers beforehand.
Oh no, this is the first qualifier.
I mean, this is for the Olympics, but I mean qualifiers for maybe World Championships or qualifiers for. Or this is the first time you've ever done a qualifier full stop?
This is the first time.
Oh wow! I thought you'd like. What about the World Championships? Did you not?
You just get selected, but this is the qualifier, so it's like you have to be selected for the qualifier. I've never done it before.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens? So you now go, and the qualifiers are in Germany,
Turkey.
In Turkey, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be out in Turkey fight. So what happens? You have to beat X amount of people.
You have to reach the final.
You have to reach the final.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many? Do you know how many fights there are?
I reckon there'll be 4 or 5 fights.
But by now you would know who's about.
Yeah, I know who's about, and I've like boxed most of them. But you can't underestimate anybody, so everybody's a threat out there.
So
And
who's
everybody wants the same thing as well. So everybody wants the spot to VO. So
okay? You've got. Are there any fights that any people that you really like fighting against, and other people you think not so sure about? And if so, how do you go about that without mentioning names?
there is some,
Yes.
but like you just whatever they're gonna throw at me, I'm gonna just give them double back. And there's awkward styles as well. There's styles that are just like run about everywhere. And you think, what are you doing?
We were talking about that. The particular style you went when you went out recently.
Yeah.
Was it Bulgaria? Was it?
Yeah, Bulgaria. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Bulgaria.
Yeah, the girl that was running all night long.
So I hate that style. Literally, I can't stand it.
But tell me about it. So what have you done? What have you done to work on that now then?
Basically using my feet to cut them off and keeping my distance, like finding my distance more. So I've been practicing on it. So hopefully I feel more comfortable in it next time.
Andy Wilkinson asks, who's Chantelle's inspirational fighters, both male and female?
Mike Tyson.
Brutal.
And female will be Ronda Rousey still.
Not Holly Holm.
No, still Ronda.
Still Ronda. What did you make of Ronda's emotional interview recently? Where she?
I think it was real. Like I think that's how she feels. I know it's horrible to lose,
and
obviously like how she lost. Like she was the big face, and that must have crucified her. So I think everything she said was 100% real and honest.
Okay. She did say a lot of things beforehand. She said a lot of things.
Some bad things as well.
And
I think it was just all the hype.
But do you not think that she kind of believed her own hype to the point where it got out of control?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So how do you ensure that, Chantelle, that never happens to yourself, for example?
Basically because people will just humble me. Like people will just slap me down and be like, Chantelle, get a reality check. So I've got good people around me and good family.
Okay, well that's good to know. That's really good to know.
I just know that would never happen to me.
And the other thing I want to talk about is the books that you read. Because it was really interesting. There were people that commented on those books. Tell us more about those books.
Which books?
The books. Was it Glass? The lady. Glass. Tracy.
Oh,
what about the kids in
social
care? Yeah. Talk to them more about that.
They're just really interesting books. Like they were about lifestyle and stuff. Like about people's like tough lives.
Yep.
Yeah, I just like reading.
I know people that commented on the interview last time said they were really interested in those books. So could you tell them the author of the books?
I think it's Tracy Phelps or Kathy Glass.
Kathy Glass, that's the one.
Yeah, they're really good books of real life as well.
Okay. Let's see. Here's a question. Andy Wilkinson asks, would you consider fighting MMA?
It's not out of the question yet. I'm going to see what happens this year.
Ooh, MMA possibly. Okay, guys, we got just 5 or 6 minutes left with Chantelle. So please now flood the room with your questions for Chantelle. What do you do in your spare time, as Cilla Black would once say?
I basically just hang out with my friends, walk my dog, go shopping.
Love your dog.
Yeah, dog. I love my dog.
What's your dog's name?
Guinness. But we didn't name him Guinness. That when we brought him, he was already named that, so we just kept it.
Guinness, right? Don't bring him to Ireland.
My dog's my psychic.
Guinness is quite popular here in Ireland. If you guess you didn't know. Yeah, it's quite popular. So, why Guinness?
And when we got him, he was already named that, and I don't know why they named him Guinness, but we didn't want to change it, so we just kept it.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Right. Gazzo asked, UFC or Bellator?
UFC. But one of my friends boxes for Bellator. Is called Linton Vassell. Yeah.
I've heard of Linton Vassell.
He trains where I train. He's good. Very, very good.
Okay. We'll have to check him out.
Yeah.
Wayne, love it. Ask the question, Well, I don't know if I want to ask the question, but what makes you angry?
What makes me angry?
What makes you kick off then? What makes you kick off?
Bad manners. Bad manners. Someone being rude when it's not needed.
Attitude.
Attitude, yeah. Just like I don't know really. I'm quite laid back.
Okay. Neil Hart, good evening, Neil, asks, would you fight a man?
If I had to.
If you had to, but you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Just
randomly fight a man. But if I had to, then of course.
Any other questions, guys? Yes. Would you fight a man? Yeah. No, I'm sure Neil doesn't sound anything like that, but I just sort of change the accent. My voice gets boring after a while. Let's see. You say you hang out with your mates. When you say you hang out with your mates, what do? You hang out by the shop corner?
Oh no, you know? Too old for that now.
So what do you do then? You hang out with your mates. What's a day hang out with your mates like?
Like go to the cinema, go around the houses.
Yeah.
Just like have film nights and stuff.
Go around the houses.
Maybe go like to the park or something, because most of them have children. So like go out, take the kids to the park. Just like normal things, really.
Okay, so you don't go shopping, big shopping stuff like that?
Oh yeah, you always go shopping all the time. I love shopping.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is there anything in particular you like? What sort of clothes you like, or sort of?
I've got my own style. Like I don't like. I dress like how I want to dress.
So what's that?
Just random, really random.
Like Joseph in a multicolored dream coat. I mean.
Oh no, I can't really explain it. Just my own style.
So are you one of those kind of people? Are you one of those kind of people that would turn up to wedding and everyone else is dressed in black and white and you turn up in pink?
Yeah, I like to stand out.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. It's good to know.
I don't follow the crowd.
That's right. Well, right, that's off. You're off my 40th list for 40th birthday party. No, I'm joking.
Oh, thanks. I know where my invite is now.
That's right. Fashion code, right? No. I'm like you. I've got my own little sort of way of dressing. You know, I think when you were like what they call it, a person that really doesn't care about other people's opinions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't really care, so I just
do your own thing. So yeah, it's a free way to live. Yeah. What's your favourite films?
Titanic. Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, that is all going downhill now.
You wish you never asked me that.
I had such a high opinion of you, and then you went Titanic and just went.
Do you wish you never asked me that now?
No, I wish I never asked you that. Okay, let's ask you the question again. What sort of movies do you like? What's your favourite films?
Rocky.
Yeah, that's more like it. No, seriously, go on.
Scarface.
Yeah, Scarface. Yeah, let's go on.
Honestly, it's Titanic.
Yes.
Footloose. Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, okay.
And Save the Last Dance.
So you like dance?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Have you seen Honey?
Yeah, that's a really good film.
I knew.
Oh, what's happened?
There you go. Uh-oh. I think you've muted me, or have I muted one of the other? Can you hear me? No, you've muted me. Unmute the mute. You've hit the mute button.
There you go.
There. Thank you. Yes. What was I saying? We were talking about movies, and you said Footloose. We talked about Honey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Will Chantelle spar me after qualifiers? Put it on Facebook.
Ask Ingram.
Ask Chantelle. Next question. Where's best to go to find out where you next will be fighting? Says Andy Wilkinson.
Turkey, the qualifiers. So okay. It'll be on Twitter and stuff like that.
They're not going to be on BBC, or do they know that to cut the qualifiers and stuff?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Maybe, I don't know.
We should have done this angle from the start. You know, this angle's better.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's a really good angle. I should have done this angle instead. I'm sorry.
I'm vesting my arm.
Yeah, it's okay. So, that question went down like the Titanic. LOL. So maybe we'll ask the question. I'll ask the question again, shall we? Okay. Will Chantelle spar me after the qualifiers? Chantelle?
That's England.
Oh, Chantelle. Okay. I think it's every time we ask ourselves ask you that question, it goes up. The price keeps going up and up.
The bids are coming in.
Your bids are coming in. Yes. Love it versus Cameron. Interesting. Right. Any other questions, people? Because Chantelle has to get off to bed. She has to be ready for morning to go and do her runs at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. Is that it, people? Got no more questions to ask? Here we go. She hates me, Chantelle.
Don't be silly, of course not.
Yeah, don't be silly.
Don't be silly.
We don't hate you, Wayne. Not all. We've got lots of love for you.
All love, Wayne.
All love. Chantelle said she has all love for you. And, you're a cool dude, Wayne. You're a cool dude. Are there any other questions before we shut this down? Gazzo says I'd pay to watch you spar.
We'll put the money to charity then.
Goes she says Chantelle says put the money to charity. John Earp. Good evening, Mr. Earp. He says is Nicola Adams an inspiration to you?
It's good because like she was the first woman to win a gold medal at the Olympics. So yeah, in a way, yeah.
Do you spar with her? Have you sparred with her?
I've sparred with her before, but she's 51 kilo. I'm 60, so it's a bit of a big weight difference.
The dream matchup I'd love to see at the Olympics, my Olympic final would be yourself versus Katie.
That
Taylor.
would be that's I visualize it. That's my visualization.
You versus Katie
honestly,
Taylor
that is my visualization.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing I'd love to see for the finals. Wayne Lovett says good charity.
he can pick the charity as well.
Yeah, Wayne, you can pick the charity as well. Chantelle, who's your inspiration?
I think it'll be my mum. Because even though she's not a fighter, like a boxer or anything, she's just a really strong woman, and like she's always been there for me, supported me, and lifted me up and stuff. So it'll be my mum.
Okay. Gazelle says Chantelle's a really good character. I've enjoyed the show.
Oh, thank you.
Right, as we come to the end, people may want to know more how they can contact you via Twitter. Yeah. So how could people contact you via Twitter, Chantelle?
At Chantelle Cam.
Excellent. Let me think what else we've got. Any other questions? Great podcast, guys, and thanks, Chantelle, says Andy Wilkinson.
Thank you.
Wayne Lovett says, top person, Chantelle. I wish you all the good fortune going forward.
Thank you, Wayne.
Any other things that anybody want the fight fans have to say before we end? Chantelle, do you have a message to anybody watching the show?
Just basically like thank you to everyone who supported me and like been wishing me well for my qualifiers, and I just really appreciate it, and hopefully I do everyone proud.
And there's one thing I'd love you to say. I really want you to say this.
Okay. I'd
just like to say thank you to Al Heyman.
Who's Al Heyman?
You don't know who he's the most powerful man in boxing?
Okay, I'd just like to say thank you to Al Heyman.
Every boxer in America says it after a fight, so you can just randomly thank Al Heyman now. And I'd like to thank Al Heyman as well for making this interview possible. Thank you to Al Heyman.
Thank you, Al Heyman.
Yeah.
I wish there was a cut button so you could cut that.
Most powerful man in boxing. You don't even know.
I'm in my own little world.
Yeah, it's okay. But when you get a chance, research who Al Heyman is. He's an interesting guy. Before boxing, he was in Motown. And he used to.
I love Motown.
Yeah, he used to manage people like Whitney Houston.
Oh wow, I love.
I
love Motown.
Yeah. Let's go, Chab. John, stop laughing. I think that's. I was going to say something. Yes, that was what I must ask you about before we finish. Must ask. I think it's Bright House School, or
Bright Star Academy.
Yes, Bright Star Academy. Please tell me about them.
So basically, I work for a place called Sporting Champions, where I'm an ambassador.
Yes.
So I can basically a mentor. and they like asked me to go around to schools and boxing clubs and pay them a visit and like talk to the young people about like me, my career, my aims, and basically just like trying to get them active and involved in sport. So it was just basically part of the project.
What does that feel like?
I love it. Literally, it's like a proper warm feeling. When I go to schools and do an assembly and talk to them, you just see these little faces looking at me like it's the way they look at me is like I'm someone massive. And I think, God, why are they looking at me like this? But it proper inspires me and motivates me.
I love doing it. I love going to
it. Literally, I can't explain the feeling.
It's an amazing.
I'm there to inspire them, but actually they're inspiring
me.
Yeah, they're inspiring me. Like, they're making me want to push harder.
I'll help. I understand that totally. Right, that's it. Chantelle, thank you so much for being on the show. Ingram. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you closer to the well, obviously, when do you actually go to Turkey?
2 weeks.
So we'll say a little prayers for you, and we'll
thank you.
Wish you all the best, and obviously we'll keep on tweeting you and talking to you and make sure you're not having sneaky Nando's and all the rest of it.
Thank you for that.
Okay, that was Chantelle Cameron. Thank you so much for watching the show. Stay tuned. We've got next Rakeem Ashay Noble for the second half of the double interviews. And by the way, tomorrow night I'll be watching Batman versus Superman, the premiere. Well, it's not the premiere now because they saw it last night, but I'll watch it tomorrow night. You gonna watch it?
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Excellent. Right,
hopefully
I'm out.
Weekend. See ya.
Over the weekend. Take care. All the best.
Bye.
Bye, guys.